Imagine a world where travel is more than just a destination. It's an experience where your love of travel intersects with your passion for sport. Welcome to Road Trips. Personalized luxury travel experiences to the world's most sought-after events. Live your sports travel dreams with personalized itineraries to your preferred sporting event. Allow us to take care of all the details. Through curated luxury hotel collections and on-site staff to elevate your travel experience. Because with Road Trips, it's not just about the game. It's about how you experience it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bon Voyage podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host, Kelly Graham, and we have Chris Huth from Road Trips. And today we're going to talk about World Cup 2026. Right, Chris?
We certainly are. It is the single biggest sporting event in the world every 4 years. And this one next year in 2026 in North America is the biggest ever. So we're excited about it. I hope everyone out there is excited about it, and we'll go through a few details.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to believe that we're already talking about 2026, but really we're less than 30 days away from 2026.
I know. Well, we're here based in Canada, so I can quickly I can get a good sense of when we're about to change calendars over when the weather outside dramatically changes. So,
all right.
Yeah.
You guys have snow already?
We have a little bit, which has kind of been the norm for the last couple of years. But if I told you the wind chill is right now minus 30, even though that's Celsius, that's probably minus 25 Fahrenheit. Snow is, you can deal with snow. The cold is a completely different thing.
Wow, that is cold.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and Road Trips does a little bit more. It's not like you only do the World Cup. What else do you guys do, or what do you specialize in?
So we basically specialize in ticket and hotel packages to major sporting events around the world. So I know one of my colleagues has had the pleasure. They did one of your podcasts earlier. Dwayne Penner did the Masters, one of my personal favorite events to attend. So we do things like the Masters, the Kentucky Derby, Super Bowl coming up in a couple of months, the Winter Games and Summer Games, both, Winter Olympics in Milan coming up very soon, and Summer Games also in North America in Los Angeles in 2028. So I imagine we may be doing another one of these with you guys for that event. It'll be huge. Anytime something is in North America, it just takes it to a whole new level and becomes massive. So yeah, global sporting events, F1, Monaco Grand Prix, tennis events like Wimbledon and French Open. So all the big exciting stuff is kind of what we specialize in.
That's got to be kind of a fun job.
It is. Yes, it absolutely is. This is my, this past summer, I passed my 19th year here at Road Trips. So
wow.
It's, and most of the staff here have been here for a decade plus, but you can easily tell, I mean, once you come in, start here. And if you love travel and you love sports, I mean, there's no better place to kind of do it. So we're all kind of lifers here, I guess, as you say.
That's awesome. Sounds like such a great fit.
It's a lot of fun. I've gotten to, sell a lot of exciting sport events, and I've obviously had the pleasure of being in attendance at a lot of major sporting events. So it has its perks. It's a lot of fun.
That's a major perk.
It's product research. He's gaining knowledge.
Exactly. If I have to go to the Masters, I think this year might be my 13th or 14th time going. If I have to just keep going to learn more and more to be able to talk to people, I mean, somebody has to do it, right? So happy
you're willing to take it. You're willing to do it for the team.
Somebody's got to do it. So I'll jump on that one anytime.
We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you.
And then just as a point, Road Trips, I believe, is part of the Internova family, and so is Nexion, which we're a part of. Our agency is. So we're related, some sort of distant cousin somewhere along the way. But we have worked with Road Trips for several years, and you guys are great, very professional. And I love the way that you can get different levels of packages, so you can play with the budget a little bit.
Absolutely, and that's a big part of it, right? I mean, everybody, sports fans, I mean, they truly are that. They are fanatics. They want to go see their whether it's their team or their favorite event or a destination that they've always wanted to go to. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. If you want to go to the Super Bowl and say, listen, just being in the building is all I need to do, and the hotel, I'm not concerned. Give me a good, clean, solid 3.5 star hotel and just get me in the building, and that's all I want. And somebody says, you know what, we need the Four Seasons, and we need to be in the lower level, and we need to be within the 40 to 50 yard line on my team's side, and all those things, and we've got it all covered. There's different snack brackets and price points for I won't say for everybody, but we do cover a large range, particularly with some of the bigger events when you have different seating categories. I know we've done a lot with you guys already for the Masters. That one's a little bit different. It's kind of a one ticket. It's a general admission ticket, and that is what it is. But yeah, for all these events, we like to specialize in different possibilities and different levels for different fan bases.
So let's get out of the way because we get this all the time, and actually I've got the converse of this. Kristen did. I think you've worked with Kristen in our office also. So people call and say, "We just want tickets." We don't do that, right?
We do not. No, every event that we do is going to be a ticket and hotel package together. And then from there, depending on the sporting event, there's going to be various different aspects. I mean, if you're, I'll just use the Super Bowl because it's coming up soon. The hotel and the tickets to the game, but we'll also do transfers from the hotel to the stadium on game day. The World Cup, we're going to talk about in a little bit. There's a variety of different ones. Some programs like the semifinals and final might have a transfer to the stadium as well as our staff on site. Some of them might just be a ticket and hotel. But if somebody says, you know what, I've got, we just saw the World Cup draw and my family lives in Dallas and we just need a ticket to the game, we're not going to be the fit for that. It's always going to be a package together.
Right. And it's funny what I mentioned Kristen because she just got an inquiry about the World Cup, and these people wanted only hotels, and they say they had tickets. I'm like, no, we don't do that either.
That is a unique way. I mean, we do see it. We get that inquiry every once in a while. That's an interesting one for people to be able to get tickets, which for most sporting events is the toughest portion to do. Finding a hotel can be sometimes it's near impossible. For if you're trying to go to the Masters, it's one location, it's 1 week. Hotels are very difficult. World Cup is a little bit different. I mean, it's 16 different cities over, depending on anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. If you're looking to go to the World Cup in New York City, there's an abundance of hotels that are kind of out there. But yeah, you don't get that one a lot. You don't get a lot of people saying, I've got tickets, I just need a place to stay. So that's a little bit of a unique one.
Yeah, that's kind of different.
Speaking of the World Cup, let's delve in. When you said that the drawing was just recently, or
So the draw right now, so the way the World Cup works, essentially, again, I started off by saying it's the biggest sporting event in the world. The World Cup encompasses, it's in North America. So there are 2 stadiums in Canada, there are 3 in Mexico, and there are 11 stadiums in the US. There are a total of 104 matches. There are 48 countries that will qualify to play in the World Cup. So right now, most of the teams have qualified. There's still a few that have to be figured out next March. But this coming up, so today we're at Wednesday, December 3rd. So this Friday afternoon is step 1 of the World Cup draw. So what that means is what they will do on Friday is they will draw the teams and put them into their groups of 4. So there will be 12 different groups at the World Cup, all including 4 different countries playing each other in a round robin or group stage. So this Friday, we will know who belongs to which group. Again, for the majority of teams, I think there are still 6 teams to qualify in March. So they will be put in just by group name. We won't know the countries yet. But yeah, this Friday, we will know who plays who. The following day on Saturday, FIFA will then take those groups and put them into their actual locations and time. So as of Saturday, late afternoon or evening, we will know what time and who the opponents are for the 3 USA games. We will know on Friday who USA is playing, but on Saturday, we will know what exact time and in which order they play their group. So that's a little bit of a unique one. FIFA usually just does it all on one day. They do the draw and you immediately know all of the details. This one has been a little bit staggered, but yeah, as of Saturday, fans of teams will be able to say, you know what, I'm a big Argentina fan, and now I see exactly what days they're playing and what cities, which in our world makes things very exciting and a little bit easier, because up until now it's kind of been like, I want to follow my team Argentina, but I don't know where they're playing, who they're playing, when they're playing. So once those pieces of the puzzle get slotted in on Saturday, the whole picture is there, and now we start to just get bombarded in a great way with people saying, I want to see my team in Dallas on this day, and I'd love to fly to Houston and see this big game, and then I'd like to go and see Miami and see this one. So it's very exciting. So the draw is kind of the big, not pinnacle of the event, but it's really when all the pieces fit in and everyone starts to see the picture and gets very excited about what they can do.
And
Kinda
when
like
is
a
the last time it was in North America?
1994, I believe, in the U.S. was the last time it was in just in the U.S. So this is kind of a first time being in multiple countries. So the last World Cup 4 years ago was in Qatar and was just in one city. It was in Russia before that, Brazil before that, South Africa. Those are the ones I've attended personally. But this is the first one that will be in a full continent with 3 different countries sharing hosting duties with, again, 16 cities and that many teams. It takes a lot to put it together. So it's been quite a while since being in the U.S. and soccer was kind of soccer slash football, depending on the fan base and who's listening and
right.
calling in. But soccer was growing at a pretty good rate in '94, and but nowhere near the level that it is now. It is absolutely massive. MLS, the US and North and Canadian based professional league, is absolutely huge now. It is expanded to I don't even know how many now. It's 30 plus teams that are in it. So the sport itself is just, I mean, it's still not at our big ones. It's still not football, baseball, basketball level, but it is growing and it is so massive. So it's exciting to see families already inquiring, saying, "Hey, Chris, you know what? My all 3 of my kids play soccer, and they've watched it since they were born, and this is huge, and we need to go to this one. It's right here." So it's really fun to see how it's kind of really developed in North America. It's still not obviously as big here as it is in other parts of the world, but it's I think after this tournament, the lead up to it here with the draw and then taking place this summer will just show the world how big this sport has become in North America.
That's very
Absolutely.
cool.
I know I played soccer at the high school level in the 80s, let's say. And, not everybody, was that familiar. We were the state champions for South Carolina in my senior year. And have loved soccer my whole life. But it's not always been that way. It's every year, every decade, it just seems like more and more people are into it than before. And especially a lot more kids are playing, as they're, what they play, growing up now. I think it's a lot bigger.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I still, I mean, I'm 48. I've played soccer since I was 4 years old. So, I mean, I'm still playing it. And I've seen how it's grown. I mean, when I played, you played for your local community club, and then you got older and played with the next level. And you just kind of went with that way. And I know now friends of mine that are coaching academies and clinics and traveling teams. And, some of these kids play on, in one calendar year, they might be playing on 4 different teams because
Yeah.
they have a club team, a next level team, they're on a school team, they're on all these. It's just massive. I mean, and a lot of it helps. I mean, you have these international soccer superstars that are coming over to North America to, sure, some of them might be in the twilight of their career. When David Beckham came over to LA Galaxy, I mean, he just kind of took his name and brand and brought it over, and people just started watching a sport they've never watched in their life because of one person. Now you have, Lionel
Messi.
Messi. You have
Yeah.
arguably the number one player on the planet playing for David Beckham's team. I mean, you put those two together, and all of a sudden, every kid in the country is like, "I got to see this. I got to do this. I want to play this. I want to do all of it." And that's just how it. That's how it grows, right? I mean, the World Cup used to always be 32 teams. It's going to 48, and there are countries. I'll be honest, there are countries that have qualified. I didn't know were countries in the world, and they have a World Cup team and they're coming. And that just makes the sport bigger in their country, in their region. More kids want to play it. And it just, because it's such an international sport, And players play, they don't play in their country anymore. They play for their national team, but they play in their club team all over the world, and they just bring
Yeah.
their own brand everywhere with them. And it's huge. It's like I said, it's growing so big. And I mean, I don't think it'll be this long again before the US or North America gets another World Cup. That's just how big it's getting here.
I think you hit on two really interesting points, Chris. I did not ever play soccer, but the two things that really hit home with me about the sport is number one, so many people who get involved in the sport as is youth, even if you're not going to play professional or whatever, they carry it into their adulthood. And so many people I know, yourself included, are still playing in league games, and it's a social thing for you also, in addition to the competitiveness and staying in shape. And the other thing that I think is so unique about soccer is really all you need is a ball. You can make up a pitch wherever you are. It can be on the sand, it can be on the dirt, it can be wherever. And I've seen in some countries where it's not actually really a ball, but they're making something spherical and turning it into a match, which is really, I think, what makes it so universal.
Absolutely right, and that is why it's, or part of the reason why it's the biggest sport in the world. Is you're right. You can just find something and make it as round as you can, and just you have your feet, you have ground underneath you, and you can make it work. Right. I mean, like I said, we're in Canada. I mean, we grew up playing hockey, but not. You need a lot of equipment and a lot of guts to sometimes go outside and do some of those things. But soccer, you find anything, you put it together, and you can get a whole bunch of people joining and just kicking it around. And that's part of why it's so big. And yeah, I mean, it's a social aspect. I mean, at my level now, it's just probably 50% physical fitness and competition, and 50% just getting together with friends and still doing it. And then, it trickles from there to,
Right.
you don't just play it. You go and, maybe you get together on the weekend and watch a team play. And then all of a sudden, all of these people my age, all of their kids are playing, and they're coaching their kids, and their other neighbors are starting to get involved. So it grows a lot faster, just because of some of that social aspect and the ability, like you said, Kelly, for almost anybody to be able to do it at some level. I mean, we all can walk and kick a ball, some better than others, but you can make it work without needing football pads or a baseball bat or a certain size of field. You just get a little area, you kick it around, and you make it work.
Yep.
Now, all these guys that you're playing with and going out with, are they hitting you up for like tickets and packages?
Yes. There's a lot of people saying, "Hey, Chris, I know what you well, I either know what you do or I think I know what you do, but hey, can you get me tickets?" And as we started off with this, unfortunately, we don't sell just tickets. It would be a ticket and a hotel package. But I mean, I'm not in a World Cup host city, so all of the people that I know that ask me, I say, "Hey, listen, you need a place to stay as well. So yes, if you want to do a ticket and a hotel, I can certainly help with that." So the list is growing. So I think after we see the draw on Friday and Saturday, and people start to figure it out, we'll see how many people keep reaching out to me. But hey, I'm happy to help them if they need assistance or want to buy a package. That's what we're here for. So
Well, since
Absolutely.
this is a little bit of a smaller sport in the North American audience, what do you average the stadium seating to be for? I know that's pretty vague.
that's a good question, because you're right. I mean, with this many, I mean, also with this many matches, if people watch on TV, and obviously every different World Cup has a different vibe and atmosphere. I mean, when I was, last, I guess 3 years ago from now, almost 4 years ago for the World Cup, when it was in Qatar and Doha. Qatar is not a big soccer nation. There was a lot of empty seats in stadiums, but that's also just because of in that particular World Cup, it was in the winter, which is unusual. The World Cup is always taking place in the summer. It's just too hot in that part of the world. So the travel groups were a little bit different. It's easier for parents to have kids not in school and go to the World Cup when it's in the summer. It's not as easy to do that kind of thing when you're talking, over Thanksgiving and Christmas time and flying across the world. So these stadiums in North America, I mean, they're all football stadiums. They're all, I don't know the size of all of them. Most of them are probably 60,000 seats
Oh,
plus.
wow.
I mean, if you're going to, if you watch a Kansas City Chiefs game, which I know a lot of people were Kansas City Chiefs fans, have recently become Kansas City Chiefs fans
Taylor
for
Swift.
for non-football related reasons. But you see that stadium, and it's 80,000 seats, and you see it packed with red jerseys and hats and shirts and everything for an NFL game, and all of a sudden you have a a World Cup match there, there will be a lot of them that will be packed. I mean, there are some big countries, right? That when you've got games of, you know, Canada, USA, and Mexico, and Argentina, and Brazil, and Germany, and England, and all these massive global teams, those stadiums for those matches, I would anticipate will be close to, if not completely full. That's the reality of them. You're going to get 60 to 80,000 people at some World Cup matches. That said, there will also be a lot of matches that are just lower caliber countries. I name some usually just by example. I don't mean to pick on some of them, but I mean, New Zealand has, I don't know if they've ever been in the World Cup before. Curacao is a country and also a liquor. They're in the World Cup. They're the smallest country to ever qualify for the World Cup. How many people are going to come over and watch it? And if all of a sudden you have you can get a random match once the draw comes back of, maybe Curacao is playing Cape Verde in that same Kansas City stadium and go, are we going to get 80,000 people to watch those two games? Not with those two fan bases traveling. However, if you live in Kansas City and have always dreamed of going to the World Cup, and you want to take, your kid's soccer team wants to go, or your whole organization goes, listen, we live here. We don't need to book time off. We don't need to make vacation plans. We don't need to get travel visas and all of these things. And why wouldn't we go see this World Cup caliber match in our backyard? Yeah. Again, that's a typical example. That's not what we're going to be, what we do, but it just shows that there will be also a way for the locals to fill up the stadiums, because again, this is it might be a once or twice in a lifetime opportunity. So not everybody gets to go see all of the big clubs. Those games are going to sell out. Those are going to be tough, but you can still see some really good world-class level soccer. Maybe they aren't household names of players yet, but a lot of them will become that. It's just how it works, right? So I would say you're probably going to see fairly full stadiums for the most part, and some maybe not so much. But once you get past the first stage of it, and once you get to the round of 32 and the round of 16 and quarterfinals, you're just going to see completely full stadiums all the way through. Not like maybe what some of them were in Qatar, where it's not really a big soccer following nation.
Is it televised, the draw on Saturday or Friday and Saturday?
Yes, on Friday and Saturday, the draw is televised. On Friday, I know a lot of it will be live on FIFA.com, as well as local. I mean, here in Canada, like ESPN probably has it broadcast. On Saturday, I believe it's on FIFA.com and FIFA's YouTube channel. So people can go online and find it and watch it themselves. Now, it is it's the World Cup. It's a massive thing. I think the draw on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, is a 3.5-hour spectacle. There are performances by Andrea Bocelli. It's hosted by, I think, Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum. I mean, it's a massive black tie gala. They do it. Wow. It's being held in Washington, D.C. So it's a big deal. It's not just a few ping pong balls that they pull out for half an hour and say, there you go. They set it up, and it's massive, and they have a ton of celebrities and performers. And I think I saw something today online that they are ending the draw with Village people singing YMCA in Washington. So it's Wow. They do a whole big, massive show. So it's not something you could just say, hey, let's go watch the draw quick for 15 minutes while we're doing things. It's a full spectacle.
Okay.
Well, you got to remember that while it's growing here in the U.S. and maybe in Canada, the rest of the world, it is the number one sport by a long shot. So it has more fans than any other type of sport,
completely.
So.
I mean, we look on this side. I mean, we look at the Super Bowl the Super Bowl is everything. I mean, I don't know the quantity of people that watch the game versus the halftime show or the commercials. But the Super Bowl, it's growing. Obviously, there's all these international NFL games every year. They're playing somewhere else and they're building their brand, but it's not to this. I mean, this is like 104 Super Bowls. I mean, even a match, Uzbekistan versus Ghana, it might not be big for North America, but in Uzbekistan and Ghana, all of their population is watching this game. Everybody is watching this if there's a way to watch it. They're probably, some of these smaller nations, I mean, they might have television viewership that rivals the Super Bowl, and it's just one random World Cup match. With the groups expanding from 32 to 48 teams, there are a lot of teams that have never been in this before. They may never qualify for it again. It's religion, it's life, it's everything. Yes. It's the one sport that is even played in some of these countries. So this is kind of like everybody will be gathering at whatever hours of the day or night it is for their country to just be able to watch it. So yeah, it's like 104 Super Bowls every day. There's four of them going on at the same time, so it's special.
We were in Dubrovnik and there was I don't remember what the tournament was, but they brought TVs out in the walled city. I mean, like 30 TVs, and in the plazas they were even bigger and everybody was there. So you could be eating dinner and still watching the match.
It
Yeah.
it shuts down. It can't stop life, but it comes pretty close in some of those countries. It's like we're all going to be here and watch this for 2 hours, and then we'll go about the rest of our day. But for those 2 hours, if you're probably a tourist and not interested in watching it, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Tours might be closed. Restaurants may just be watching it, and I don't think you can have the opportunity to change the channel or do something else. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's that level that we're not used to that with any one single sport. I mean, even this, like I said, the Super Bowl is massive, but it doesn't shut. I mean, there are people going about their day and have no interest in it whatsoever. Where the World Cup is kind of a different level of that.
Okay, so for people to find our World Cup package or even our Masters packages, which we're still filling up those for 26, you would just go to type mgatravel.com and you can go to this menu item that says Start Here, go to Travel Experiences, go to Travel Experiences, and then go to Exclusive Sports Travel Packages. And that will bring up both of these, which is the Masters, which I think there's still space for 26, Chris. Is that right?
Yeah, we can still do a little bit for the Masters. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then we go to the World Cup, and you just click on that. And this is going to have basic information about the different types of packages that Chris is going to tell us about these packages. But it's so much information that I just wanted to share this. I'm also going to put up a QR code in a minute so you can just go straight to it. Even when you know what type of package, you're going to need to know, like, where your venues are, these different types of stadiums and things like that, so you can help determine what type of ticket that you would like, the World Cup schedule, and that will help you determine which city you want to be in, especially after this draw. And finally, once you know which city you're going to be in, you'll need to let us know what hotels that you want to be in. And all of that information will bring you back to the main page where you can request your package. Again, as we know more after this draw this weekend, so next week and the following week, we'll be filling in a lot more specific details. But like Chris mentioned, I mean, there's plenty of ways you can book without always knowing all the exact details anyway. So the main thing is when you go down here, you click request your package, and then it comes up with this form. And just please make sure to fill out everything as thoroughly as possible. Especially think about when they're ready to they say, okay, I want to go to the World Cup. What kind of things do they need to figure out?
Sure. So we've had various different versions of packages over. I mean, to be honest, our World Cup packages for this World Cup have been on sale for probably just over 2 years already. So some of those details, like saying you're going to the final or going to a semifinal, obviously the draw is completely irrelevant to all of that kind of stuff. That's just we know where they are, we know the days, we know all of that stuff. You're not going to know the teams anyways. But we've kind of taken, as far as we understand, we've kind of done a little bit of a simplified approach. So what we basically do, so like I said, there's 104 matches for the World Cup. From match 1 to 103, every one of those is as simple as a 3-night hotel stay, so minimum 3 nights hotel, and tickets to the one match. So that means you could bounce around from city to city. You could stay 3 nights in New York and then go to Boston for 3 nights and look at the schedule and pair it all up and stay 3, 6, 9 nights in multiple different cities and watch games. When you do look at the schedule, the games are spread out. So in some cases, you might be able to stay in one city for 4 or 5 nights and have 2 matches taking place in it. So if you're picking a city and not specific teams you want to see, you might be able to do a little bit of customizing. Again, it's the minimum of 3 night stay, but that doesn't mean you can't stay in one city. I've got clients that are staying, I think, 12 nights in Vancouver just because they love Vancouver in the city, and they're seeing, I think, 3 games while it's there and doing sightseeing while they're in town. They're not just doing the World Cup portion. So really everything is as simple as saying a minimum 3 nights and 1 game. And if that means following a team from city to city, or going, you know what, we're going to go to Philadelphia, we're going to watch the team that we always want to see, and then we're going to come home and we're going to go back to work and back to what we're doing. And 2 weeks from now, we're going to go see another game in another city. That's part of the beauty of this World Cup in our backyard. Again, when I met, the last one was in Qatar. You're flying over, you're probably spending no less than 10 nights. You're doing a lot of things. This one has the ability where you can say, I'm going to go see a game on the East Coast for 3 nights. It's on a weekend. We don't even have to do a lot of changes to our family life. Come back home, and then maybe the whole family, maybe just a few of the family members go to another game in another city, because not everybody's as big a fan of the World Cup. So you can really customize and build these, which is why we did them as a 3-night, 1-match stay. You can stay longer in a city and see more matches. You could bounce around from city to city without having to spend too much time, or you can come back and forth from home and see different portions of the tournament. I say matches 1 to 103. The championship final is match number 104. The only difference is the final is a 4-night stay. So every other match is 3 nights. The final is a 4-night stay in New York City. So that's kind of again, it's simplifying it a little bit. We think it's simple. It's not simple when you don't talk and live the World Cup every single day for a few years and putting these packages and planning together. But it's a nice way to let people do whichever matches in whichever cities they want. We don't have pre-bundled packages. I'm not going to say, listen, if you want to see the biggest, the defending champions, Argentina and Messi, and they happen to be playing in New York City, it doesn't require you also seeing another game in New York City that's 2 countries you don't care about, you've never heard about, you don't really want to stay that long. It's completely up to the traveler. If you want, however they want to build their experience is completely up to them. And then with each city, as you pointed out earlier, Michael, we have multiple hotels in every city, almost every city. Kansas City, we have 1 hotel. Every other city has multiple hotels. But so different price points. So really it's coming up with what match you want to see in which city, what hotel you're interested in staying. I think we have over 50 different hotels contracted throughout the entire World Cup across all the cities. And then what seating category you want in the stadium. And then we would kind of work together with, here's what a price range looks like. Or if you if you want the best hotel, but the tickets don't matter to you, or you want the best tickets you can afford, but the hotel is not a big deal, because again, we're in North America, right? I mean, if you've never been to Houston before, but it doesn't really matter. You're still comfortable with all of the brands that we're using, 3.5, 3, 4-star, 5-star hotels. They're all comfortable hotels. And we say, listen, we're not going to be in the hotel. It doesn't matter, but I want to get the best tickets I can, which is also how we build them. The packages, when I say they aren't packaged together, it doesn't mean you can only get the best tickets only if you get the best hotel. Everybody wants to experience things differently. It's completely up to the client to decide how they'd like us to put their experience together for them.
That's a really, really great feature in order to have, because I agree with you totally. Everybody travels in a different way. And if Michael and I are traveling together and he really, really wants the tickets, I really, really want the luxury hotel, we make it up that way. But I get what you're saying. If I'd never been to Houston before, I'm not hanging out in the hotel very much.
And that brings up one other point, is that you guys don't do everything. Like, you're not going to book the air. Is that right?
Correct. We don't do the flights.
So, and that's one thing that our agency brings to the table. So we will help you get the package together, and we will work with Road Trips and with Chris on your behalf. But then if you need your flights, we will handle your flights, or especially if you're going to a lot of different cities. And then there's tours and things. If you do want to stay longer in these places and you want to see more, we can help arrange those for you as well, and just put it into one complete package for you.
That's an excellent point, and I'll use that Vancouver example as well. I have clients that are staying, maybe not 12 nights, but I do have clients that are starting with a World Cup package. I think they're just doing 3 nights in one game. They're doing a cruise. And then they're coming back. When the cruise comes back to Vancouver, they're doing another 3 nights and another match and going home. So they're spending a week in Vancouver. Plus, I don't know how long the cruise is. We don't do those. That's where your specialty and expertise comes in. But it's the World Cup is a big part of it is destinations. Again, maybe not the North American one as much as some others, but there's obviously plenty of places in North America that people haven't gone to. Maybe you're an East Coaster and you've never gone out to the West, and you're like, you know what? Let's go see Team USA play in Los Angeles. And while we're in Los Angeles, we want to do all of the standard LA things, or we also want to go down to Disney and do some other stuff. It's a great way to kind of make the sporting event kind of part of the experience and not the full entire experience. And people do both. We get people obviously that do it as a portion and the family's doing a whole vacation. And some people, it's just all about the sport and that's all they're there for. But that's the beauty of the different locations and working with an agency and all your expertise is you guys can put together all sorts of things for clients to do along with just the small portion that we might be helping out with.
Really love the flexibility of that, the 3 nights in the game. That's a really great way to package it.
That's a good point is, we've been to over 100 countries, Kelly and I, just hosting people around the world, and I love seeing new places. But North America is beautiful too, and there's so much to see in Mexico, in Canada, and in the United States. Even if you're from one of those countries, going to see another part of it is another aspect, and getting to see the World Cup while you do it is a huge bonus, I think, is one way to look at that.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it being so like, yes, there are people that are going to just want to watch their team play, whatever that team is that they follow. And that will, the draw will dictate which cities they're going to go to. But there are some incredible experiences. I mean, the opening match of the World Cup is in Mexico City in Azteca Stadium, match number one. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like to watch Team Mexico in the World Cup in their own stadium. It's going to be
crazy.
I mean, I think that stadium holds 100,000 people. There'll probably be 5 million people in the streets just around it. Now, that experience isn't for everybody either. Some people love that idea and some people don't. But just just to pick another city that you haven't gone to and go, this is a great way to do it. I mean, geographically, a lot of them work well together. Seattle and Vancouver both have stadiums. It's a great way to go hit the Pacific Northwest. And even if you just went back and forth, and again, with a cruise as an example, with other things to do while you're over there. The East Coast, you've got Boston, Philadelphia, Toronto, New York. You can stay in one cluster over there and kind of see a bunch. You might even stay in New York and make your stay longer and just take the train out to Philadelphia for a game that's in your time zone. So there's a lot of really, really creative ways people can kind of figure out how they want to do it and get some of the cultural experiences. Go to a match in Mexico City or Guadalajara or Monterrey, or go to Vancouver in the mountains or somewhere in the US that if you're in the West Coast, hit the East Coast or vice versa, or go in the Central. Just see different parts of it. And one of the best parts of the World Cup, well, two of our events really, the World Cup and the Summer Games, because they happen every 4 years, they're a lot of times they're even more so about the destination than the sport itself. This one maybe not so much, but when people get hooked on this event, just imagine you're going to have people that watch the World Cup in their backyard. It's easy. It's not a whole big thing. It's kind of simple for them. But 4 years from now, the next World Cup is in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
Wow.
So if the kids are hooked and the family's hooked and go, we love the World Cup, we are going to the World Cup again. They've got 4 years to figure it out. It's in another amazing destination. It takes you to a whole other part of the world. And it's every 4 years. So after that one, the World Cup after that is actually in Saudi Arabia. So if you hit the 3 World Cups in a row, you've completely seen 3 or well, multiple with some of the multiple countries. You've seen so many different parts of the world just by following one sporting event every 4 years. So these are trips that we see a lot of people do. I think 2010 South Africa World Cup was the first one that I attended and worked with road trips. I've seen some families in South Africa in 2010. Then they came to Brazil with us. Then they came to Russia with us. Then they came to Qatar with us. And it's gone everywhere from it was a husband and wife on the first trip to now it's grandkids and kids and it's a multi-generational family that's kind of come all the way along with it. And that's only 4 or 5 trips that we've seen them for, but it's every 4 years and it just opens a whole new world of places to go and things to see and places to do. So it's when you get this event, like to your point, Kelly, if it's you want the hotels and the experience and Michael wants the sporting event, you start planning a whole different destination down the road and you can kind of see how it really just expands and makes your trips that much more enjoyable and increases the number of people that go with you on this trip. I mean, the multi-generational trips for this and the summer games are our two biggest because it just takes you to new places and everybody gets involved.
Well, to speak to your friends too. I mean, your friends are coaching their kids, and so to make this into a familial thing that lasts generations, what a gift.
100%. You're going to go to a world. My friends will be able to take their kids to a World Cup here again without all of the crazy logistics and planning. And in 4 years, depending on how old our kids are, in 4 years or 8 years from now, those kids are taking their partners and their friends and going to a
Right.
whole other, and you just get hooked on it. I mean, it's no different than all travel. I mean, we're all in the travel world. I mean, we get
Yeah.
hooked on travel, and it's where can I go next? And friends come back from here and tell you they just went on this cruise, and you say, I'd never even thought of that. I've got to go. You're talking about Dubrovnik, right? I mean, that place is exploding right now, and it's one of the hottest places people want to go. 10 years ago, if you said you went there, people would be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never heard of it. And now you'll be having dinner with friends, and they say, oh, we just went last, or we're going next year. We've already booked it. It's just the sporting event is obviously massive, but it's tied so much to the destination and the full experience of it all together with travel. So it's special for everybody.
And one extra bonus I was just thinking about being that it's in 2026, and especially in cities like Philadelphia and Boston, is the 250th anniversary of the United States. So there's going to be some big celebrations. I don't know how they coincide with the World Cup games or not, but I think they're going to be year-long types of things as well. So it's just one more reason to go to some of those cities and get more bang for your buck.
All right,
To
Chris and
that
Michael,
point
if you can
specific,
tell me what the anniversary is called.
Oh, a sesquicentennial, something like that.
Is this Centennial?
That's my guess. I don't know.
I have no idea. No idea
Yeah,
whatsoever.
30 days to learn.
All
We
right.
do.
Yeah.
Well, and to your point, I will point out on the schedule on Saturday, July 4th,
Ooh.
there is the round of 16. There is one game in Houston and one game in Philadelphia. So on July 4th, there are also two World Cup games, one of them being in Philadelphia. So just
Wow.
imagine what that city is going to be like on that day.
That's going to be wild. That would be an amazing experience to combine those two things. Those are
and
Absolutely.
and that's a perfect thing, right? Like that is something where in the world of travel and things like that, like if somebody isn't looking to pick a certain team or something like that and just want, we just want a memorable experience, whatever that is, whether that's going to a different country that it's taking place in or a date on the calendar. If somebody was like, what's something special, what really stands out, it's the opening match, it's the final. But yeah, I mean, July 4th in Philadelphia, and you just see it, and it's a round of 16. You don't know who the teams are going to be, but you're getting down the line of the tournament. It's going to be a great match and some sort of super spectacle on that, right? So that might even be something people just go, you know what, we've never even thought about that. That's a great way to do it. Or, of course, I understand it's July 4th and we're doing our family thing and we're not traveling elsewhere, but it just adds a little bit to it as well.
No,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
awesome. And that's great to know.
I would definitely not know who the teams were, but know I'd be on the 4th of July for a World Cup game in Philadelphia. In fact, Kelly, just ask Chris later how much that would be for us.
One
It's
of the
true,
many
right? I mean,
emails he gets from me.
yeah, no problem. Happy anytime. And I'll take a step back as an idea. I mean, that just kind of took us to that point. When people are looking at planning on going to a match in the massive 6 weeks or almost 6 weeks the World Cup is, a lot of people don't think about it. I personally, as a soccer fan and working in this industry and attending the World Cups, the knockout rounds, the round of well, now there's a round of 32. There never has been before, but a round of 32, a round of 16, and a quarterfinal are cut. To me, it's an excellent sweet spot. People don't think about it because they go, I don't know who's playing. Like the final is the most expensive match, of course, semifinals, but in that sweet spot in the middle, you don't know who the teams are going to be until they get that far. But also availability on those ones is pretty good because of that reason that people don't know that right now, if you just said Philadelphia round of 16 on July 4th, nobody knows who it's going to be. Part of the fun of the World Cup is going, I've already bought that package. It's match number 83 or whatever. You can see how the path is and go, oh, if these two teams, it might be these two teams that are playing each other. That's
Yeah.
wild and crazy. So to me, if people are kind of up in the air and saying, you know what, we don't really know what we want to see, we just want to go. Do you have suggestions, ideas? Those three knockout rounds are a really nice spot where it's again, you know the city, you know the dates, you can pick your hotel, you just don't know the teams are yet, but you're not at the pinnacle part of the semifinal and final, which might cost 10 times the amount. So it's a nice little, that kind of just triggered a thought there. It's a nice little spot that people can kind of, see a quarterfinal match and two of the last eight teams standing, and not have to worry about, what the path looks like to get there. And it's that much further out, and it makes watching the tournament exciting, knowing the winner of these two games now, we're going to see next week. It makes it a little bit more exciting too.
Well, even the whole time, like to me, it would add interest to watching who's going to be moving forward and like, oh, that we might get that team, we might get that team. And so I like watching, soccer anyway. But if you have some invested in it and you're like, oh, if they get to the semifinals and that's what I have booked, in Dallas or wherever it is, then that makes it even more exciting and more fun to watch and
Yeah.
follow.
And chance, I mean, more often than not, you're also getting the bigger countries, the better teams. So as opposed to saying, you know what, we're going to go to Houston and we just picked a random date and we know who the teams are because of the draw, and it's, whoever it is, it's Cote d'Ivoire versus Australia, and you go, well, that's fine. But if I go to the quarterfinal, maybe I'm getting Argentina versus Colombia or something like that,
Yeah.
because you're getting further down the path teams, for a little bit more excitement than something more random. So it's kind of I mean, not a lot of people just come out of the gates thinking that when they're a traveler. But as a travel advisor, it's a good one to just kind of have in your back pocket for those that go, I don't really know what I want to do or where or how we want to do it. It's a nice way to kind of make a suggestion. And the
But on the
July 4th one ties right in.
on
Yeah.
the flip side, what if you are watching a team like Curacao, like you said, and they come from some underdog, and all of a sudden you're in the quarterfinals and they are in the quarterfinals too? That would be a pretty phenomenal game to watch, knowing that they had overcome that much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And part of again, when the draw comes out this weekend, you see the groups, you see who you're playing for your three matches, and there is a full schedule. I know you guys have it on your site when we looked at it there. When you have the full schedule, I mean, you don't know who's going to finish first place or second place in the group, but you can kind of see, like, if my team finishes first, maybe not Curacao, but if you're a big club and said, listen, Brazil is probably going to win their group, you can see exactly what their path looks like and say, let's take a gamble. Let's pick the quarterfinal in Houston, because if Brazil wins their group, that's the game they're going to be in playing, and that's the city I want to go pick. So you're not going to know exactly who it is, but if starting next week, you can kind of fill in. Again, it's a gamble and it's guesses, but you can kind of fill in some of those. I got lucky with that personally. In my family heritage, is German background. I'm Canadian born, so for soccer, for me, it's still, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but it's still Germany number one, Canada number two in the world of soccer. In the world of hockey, it's Canada number one and Germany number. They flip 100%. So when I was hosting in South Africa World Cup 2010, we were based in Johannesburg for most of the matches, but I was working in Cape Town. And there was a quarterfinal game in Cape Town, and it was set up where if Germany won their group, they would play in that game. So in advance, I bought a ticket for that game thinking I'm already in Cape Town. If it works out. Now, the group stage was a little nerve wracking. Germany, I think, lost or tied a game that made things really thinking I'm still going to
I
go to a
see.
World Cup game. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to love it. But it kind of was like a sports select, or like all the new FanDuel and sports gambling. It was kind of like a sports ticket that I had going. I get to see my team play if they can win this next group stage match and then win their first knockout stage. I'm going to see them play in person. It was crazy, and it was probably one of the most exciting games I've seen Germany win, because it meant I'm going to go see them play. And I did. And they won. They played Argentina in Cape Town and they beat them 4-0.
Oh,
Probably one
wow.
of the best World
Wow.
Cup matches I've been to.
That would be awesome.
Complete fluke, and turned out great. So it's kind of a fun way for people to go, I'm going to guess and see, maybe pick this city and pick this date. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, after the draw is done, what we'll do is we'll put all that information not only on our website but also in the comments here wherever you watch your podcast. But say, for example, YouTube, it'll be down in the comments, the first comment, and we'll let you know what that is, or in the description actually.
And we will have so on our front, obviously our materials on our in our brochure, the brochure that you have the schedule, it's all blank. It all still just has match numbers and all that detail in it. Once the draw takes place this weekend, our team will be hard at work updating all of those pieces of information as well. So that'll all be up on our for you guys to be able to download and get from us as well. We'll fill in those gaps. The schedule will now have all the teams on it. So when people are logging into your portal and clicking on that detail, it may not be Monday morning. It might be at some point next week, but the schedule will fill in, the dates will all fill in, and everyone will be able to kind of get the most up-to-date information from you guys too.
Awesome. That'll be fantastic. All right. So is there anything else that you think we need to cover or talk about or mention?
I mean, we've obviously there's a lot to go over this event, and once the draw happens, people will kind of be able to figure out, and people will have questions about, how do we make this work? How do we make that work? And we can go through those one at a time. I can give you an example. We used to, well, I shouldn't say used to, we still kind of do. One of the popular options that people like to do is called follow your team. Follow your team means in our world here at Road Trips, follow your team means watching the guaranteed group stage matches. Every team is guaranteed to play 3 games at the World Cup. If you lose them all, you still get to play 3 games. You don't advance if you didn't do well, but you get to play 3. So follow your team usually for us means I'm going to see 2 or 3 of all of my country's matches. We do get some people that want to book a follow your team all the way to the final. Now it takes a team to win the World Cup. You play 8 matches. If you go to the final, that's 8 matches. So if people say, I want to do a follow your team, Argentina. The way it would work, and I don't know if you may not get a lot of this because that's also requiring a lot of travel and a lot of matches and a lot of budget, to be honest. But a program is non-refundable and non-cancelable. So for example, if you said, I've booked 40 nights, I've booked follow Argentina, and Argentina loses in the quarterfinal to Germany, again, as an example, or something like that, your package doesn't end. You're now going to go see, the team that beat them in the semifinal, and then you're going to go to the final. Now, maybe you're a World Cup fan and say, fine, I want to go to the semifinal and the final anyways. I want to go to the whole thing. But it's not something, if somebody's truly looking for that kind of follow your team experience, they're kind of locking in the whole way. They're not kind of getting out of, again, I don't want to pick on certain countries, but if you book a follow your team Curacao, they've never attended the World Cup, they're probably not going to the final. You're going to be seeing a lot of other teams play soccer and not yours. So, but it is a popular option that people do, the following your team. But again, with the way we're doing the 3 nights in one game, we've kind of taken that true follow your team out of it. You can just pick and choose the one individual games you want to see from people. On a booking portion, when somebody wants to, when they've come to you with an inquiry and you've sent it to probably me, and we put something together, we do have a payment schedule. There's a deposit required at the time of booking and a final balance down the road. So it's not all 100% due when somebody books, or at least right now. If somebody books a package 4 months from now, that's going to be a different story. But we do have the booking and payment schedule there. So really it's just, once the draw comes in and people start to figure out their plans, and I'm sure there'll be a few things going back and forth where people will say to you, I live here, can I just buy a ticket? Or I just need 1 night hotel, I don't need to stay longer. You'll have a few back and forths you need to do with people, but hopefully, we reached out because we know, I know personally how popular the master's programs have been with you guys and us from when Dwayne did the podcast with you. So I'm sure this event in our backyard, with your clientele and your advisors and how you guys do it, it's going to be massive. So I'm excited. We've already gotten a few of them. I know we've gotten a few requests and inquiries, and once the draw comes out, though, it's going to go nuts. So if you're promoting it, and I've seen the things on your guys' website, so you've got the stuff, you've got the tools all there. It's a great way for people to find it, and they can start clicking and building it. So I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's going to really take off after this draw and people know more. And I would just really encourage people, when we get these inquiries and say you even know that you want to go to on a certain date to a certain stadium and you know the city, please tell us the hotel you want and the level of tickets that you want, because that is how we determine what the price is. We can't give you a quote. I can't tell Chris, they didn't tell me the hotel and they didn't tell me what kind of ticket they want because he can't give me a quote like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. The approach we like to use at Roach is we like to make it more of a collaborative approach again because we don't pre-build the packages. We don't have this hotel with that ticket only, and it's not something we can just say, here's a giant grid with all the possible combinations. We want to build the experience the way the traveler wants their experience.
Yes.
And the reason we ask for some of those details is it just helps us guide us a little bit more, right? I mean, everybody might say, I want the best hotel and I want the best tickets I could possibly get. And I could tell you, great, no problem. Here it is. It's $10,000 a person. And somebody says, oh, well, we can't afford that. We're not going to go. Well, we could have done a completely different program. We could have just said, here's a good solid hotel that's in a great walking distance even to the stadium, and here's a ticket just to go see your favorite team play once in your lifetime, and maybe it's $3,000 a person. You say, oh,
Exactly.
I can totally do that. So that's why we like to do that collaborative approach. It's not to pinpoint somebody into one specific price point and that's all we have. It's to show you that you can do this in multiple ways. And even if you can't do it the number one way you'd like to do it, there's still probably solutions on how we can get you to see your favorite team or be in a stadium you've never been into or cross off that bucket list and do it another way. So it's just part of the collaborative process to go, give us as much information as you have and and then we'll give you the best suited solution as we can.
Right. That's true. That's great. And now it's what, December the 3rd, 2025. And like you mentioned, as we get closer, obviously there's going to be less availability. It won't be a deposit necessarily. You might have to pay all at once as you get very close, if there is even availability. What do you see your timeline, with these bookings coming in or starting to lose availability?
And what is the start date?
Excellent question. The World Cup starts on June 11th in Mexico City, and the final is on July 19th in New York. So most cities have, I think in the first round, the group stage, most cities have 4 or 5 matches, and then a couple will have around a 32. Overall, I think each city on average probably has 5 or 6 games total. So that's how spread out it is. So no one city is getting 30 matches or anything like that. Availability on things, I mean, there are already some portions that are sold out. There are some seating categories, mostly for things like the final, the semifinal, and the opening match number 1. There are some hotel categories that are already sold out, or certain seating categories that are no longer available. So we, in the travel world, we would all love it if all of our clients book their travel year or years in advance.
Yes.
We know that's not possible. I had a call today. Somebody asked about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is this weekend,
Wow.
asking if they can go. And as you pointed out, it's Wednesday right now. So hotel check-in is tomorrow for that. So not possible. But for some of the different, if people want flexibility, obviously I'll say the sooner the better. The draw comes out this weekend. This is the biggest chunk, but I would say December and January are going to be the biggest portion of people going, I've looked at this for 6 months. I've already talked about it. We've already planned it. We've seen the information of what we want to do. We just waited for the draw, and now we're making the decision. So December and January is by far the biggest influx of people booking it. So if people have a very specific hotel in mind, the sooner they do it, the better. If people are saying, I'd like to see a match on the East Coast somewhere in July, sure, those people will have a little bit more flexibility and can, wait a little bit longer and figure a few things out. And that's on the availability side. On the pricing side, that's a whole separate discussion. Pricing doesn't go down for events like this. It only goes up. Like I said, we've been selling the World Cup for I think 2 years already. We've seen a lot of price increases across the board. So the longer if somebody's going, there's no reason after the draw takes place this weekend to wait. Your team is going, who they're playing, where they're playing, when they're playing. The time is now to put your deposit down and lock it in before you can't see it, and at the best price you're going to get. If you want to wait till April, May, June and say, we've talked about it and I think now we want to go. Remember, Michael, we talked about this back in January. I think we want to do that now. And Michael comes to me and says, hey, Chris, can we still do this? I say, yes, but it's about $2,000 more than it was when we first talked about it. So again, we like everybody to book early for for their sake and to get the choices they want. But pricing and availability are big things. So I would say jumping on it once the draw takes place is the smartest move.
Well, and Michael and I are so big on gifting experiences. So if you're still on the market for shopping for the holiday season, what a great gift this would be. Tickets to the World Cup. I mean, how amazing is that?
We see a lot of that. We get a lot of birthday, anniversary, Christmas, holiday gifts where people just go, I don't even know what to get them. I have no idea. Or we haven't planned our family summer vacation next year. So let's
Yep.
think about that now. And yeah, it's a great point. And again, doing a 3 night hotel stay with one game as a gift isn't, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it.
No.
It's a great way to do a little trip experience and excellent holiday suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it could be like grandparents that do it for their kids and grandkids, and then it becomes an experience they share and a memory that they have to look back. So, what a great gift. Well, I think we've covered everything about the World Cup 2026 today. First of all, I want to say thank you to all our viewers and listeners for being with us. And if you have any questions or comments, just drop them down in the comments, or you can email us at michael@mgatravel.com or kelly@mgatravel.com. You can call 843-279-0310. Any of our agents can help you. Thank you very much, as always, my lovely wife and boss. And Chris Booth from Road Trips, thank you for spending some time with us today. We really appreciate it, and very informative and well delivered. Thank you.
Yeah, I had a blast, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.